But I want to start by asking you, everybody here, everybody who's with us, by a show of hands, if you were personally affected by the attacks of the last 3 days, if you know somebody who was injured, who was killed, who was taken, if you have a member of your family or a friend who is in the army, have been drafted up, raise your hand. Please raise your hand. No one's untouched by this. No one in our community is untouched by this tragedy. Like all of you, I woke up on Saturday morning in shock. And then I was terrified. And then I was enraged. And then I was dumbfounded. And then I was heartbroken. And all day long, my emotions ran like a roller coaster as I saw those videos playing over and over and over again. And I immediately reached out to my friends and family in Israel, my cousins, and I held my breath, waiting for their response. When they finally responded, I exhaled. But then immediately afterwards, I felt this sense of guilt because I knew that others could not yet exhale. Others like Ben, a 16-year-old high school student in our community whose Israeli soccer coach was killed in the attacks. Others like Michal, who works here at the ICC, whose 2 daughters were called up to serve, one in Gaza and one in Tel Aviv. Others like Avram, our tour guide who has taken our trips to Israel every summer for the last few summers. Avram's building was hit by a missile early on. The alarm didn't sound. Building was destroyed. He and his wife luckily survived. He feels lucky being a war refugee because he knows a couple that was killed and another couple that was taken. Others like Sarita, who runs Silicon Valley Hillel, who's here with us tonight, a friend, a colleague. You see, Sarita's relatives are on Kibbutz Be'eri in the south. It was one of the kibbutzim that was overrun by Hamas. Her family, her relatives, her friends barricaded themselves in a shelter for more than 24 hours with no food and very little water, listening to the sounds of the terrorists' guns, listening to the sounds of their friends and relatives screaming. And when they finally got out, they couldn't account for some of them. Some of them had been taken. None of us has been untouched by this. Over 1,000 Israelis, an astounding number. 1,000 Israeli lives taken. Thousands injured, over 100 kidnapped. It's been said that this is Israel's 9/11. They were attacked by surprise, by enemies that were targeting civilians, enemies that are hell-bent on their destruction, that don't want to live side by side in peace, by terrorists that are calling for the end of Israel. We are all Ben, we are all Michal, we are all Avram, we are all Sarita, we are all one people, Am Echad. This impacts every single one of us. And so we will do what we do as a people. We will come together as a people. We will stand as one people. We will support each other as one people. And from here, 10,000 miles away, we will do our part as one people. Because there are also stories of hope, stories of heroism, stories of bravery. Like the young men and women, the reservists who were called up and dropped everything and in record time reported to the front lines. Like the young man who had to attend his new son's bris by cell phone because he was serving. Like the young teenagers who were going house to house to help out in the homes where the men and women had been called up to serve and there was no one else to help. Like one of the young men who survived the music festival in the desert only to go back into that hell to save 7 more lives. Stories of heroism, of bravery. So let's not despair. That's not what we do as a people. We don't throw up our hands, we roll up our sleeves. We're one people, so tonight we will be together as one people. We will grieve, we will mourn, we will pray, we will sing, and then tomorrow we will roll up our sleeves, and tomorrow we will get to work. We will donate, we will call our elected officials, we will set the record straight on social media, We will tell our non-Jewish friends what's really happening. We will help our kids' schools make statements of support, and we will invest in the local community so we can stay strong, for we are one people. But tonight, let's just be together. Let's hug each other. Let's look out for each other and be that mishpacha that each and every one of us needs.